There we go.
Yes, we are live. Welcome everybody to the House of Horrors. Tonight's guest is, I can talk tonight. Rebecca, I'm starting off the show great tonight. Rebecca Rinehart, welcome. How are you doing tonight?
I'm okay.
That's good. It's good to be okay.
Yeah. Hey, that's all I can ask for.
Oh, what was that? The Ren and Stimpy, the log. It's better than bad. It's good.
It's good, right?
Better than bad. It's good. So how about you, Miss Boomstick? How's your week been?
It's doing good. I love her shirt though.
Yep, I saw that earlier. The Sons of the Shark. Or Sharks of the. Oh my God.
Yeah.
No saying. I'm just getting everything confused tonight. Can we start over? Oh, wait, we're live. Oh my gosh.
This is one of my bucket list things that I can walk around with a shirt with me running through.
Oh yeah, that is you, isn't it?
It is me. And the funny thing is when I first saw it, I was like, that doesn't look like me at all. Like the body, I could tell was my body, but I was like, the face doesn't. But since then, I've seen the exact frame that the artist used. I'm yelling, "Shark!" in the middle of a cornfield, and that's the face that he used. I'm like, okay, I can't argue with that.
Hey, you got a shirt on being chased by a giant shark. I mean, that's.
I know. Yeah, I was at a 4th of July at my family's house, and my dad is just now getting into horror movies for whatever reason, and he's been watching a lot of stuff streaming on like his Roku or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw my shirt. He goes, "Oh, sharks in the corner. Is that scary?" I go, "No, but that's me."
You don't recognize your own daughter. Come on.
Yeah, come on. My God, you don't know what your daughter looks like running around like half naked in the cornfield screaming.
Screaming shark in the cornfield.
What kind of dad are you?
We got 24 Anthony Moe in here. How you doing tonight? He's got a question later. He entered the contest. So I'll mention his question later on. And whoever, someone tonight, well, I got both my copies. I got my copy and then the one given away here. So we got Fright Vision right there. So someone's going to win this tonight. You'll pick whatever question you like best. And that person, I'll go ahead and get their info and send them the movie.
Which is another bucket list thing. That so Fright Vision, that the cover of it was done by an Italian artist named Max Cave. And so this all happened. This was Brad Twigg. Mm-hmm. I did Shriek Show with him, which is coming out soon. And then it was, pandemic time, whatever. And he had this anthology he was trying to come out with. And he asked if I was interested in being a horror hostess. And I was like, I actually have a character already. And I sent him a couple clips to Dr. Bubenstein. He's like, great. So I did all of it at home. I wrote my own things. He gave me the clips and I just wrote my own segments and that type of thing. But then he sent me the picture of Elvira. So where she's on, what you're seeing. He's like, can you like sit on a bed or something like this? And I'm like, I can try, And then like he sends that back to me and I'm like, oh, that is classic. That is fabulous. Like
that was actually going to be one of my questions. If that, like, the cover was kind of based off Elvira.
Yeah, and that was exactly it. He sent me that one picture of her.
Yeah, there's like, I think it's an artist picture, but I've seen one where she's like sitting in a movie theater and there's like all sorts of monsters.
Yeah, she's got the popcorn and like.
Yeah. As soon as I saw that cover, I was like, that reminds me of that Elvira picture. Mm-hmm. I haven't unfortunately got to see the movie yet, but it looks interesting. I want to see it. I haven't been able to.
It's a good anthology. It has a lot of people you're going to recognize: Julian Prescott, Drew Marvick, and of course Brad Twigg did it, right. And of course Dr. Bubenstein. I mean, you can't really ask for more.
Elvira's long lost sister or something there.
No, so the way that she came about was a few years ago. It was back in the time when things were normal. I met somebody at Cinema Wasteland. We became friends, and he's like, "Hey, I was thinking about doing like a horror host thing for Thanksgiving, and would you want to do that?" And and I'm, because I go all out for everything that I do, I'm like, okay, I want to create this character, or whatever. And so, I guess like the outfit and the makeup and everything and the hair, I wasn't very original in that. But I was like, wait a minute, my character's going to have this whole backstory. Okay, she's going to be Dr. Bubenstein, but she's not a mad scientist. She has a PhD in math, and she teaches at Transylvania University in Kentucky. And she's doing this as a side hustle because she's not getting paid very much to be a teacher. So I did this whole interview, like Dr. Bubenstein was being interviewed for this special or whatever. And I gave my kid a couple questions and then said, okay, just kind of ad lib, just ask me things like you would hear at a job interview. And so I just did this interview as Dr. Bubenstein, you know, and so that's what I use. Like Dr. Bubenstein got quite a bit of work last year. She got more work probably than I did. And I would always use that little audition thing to send to people, be like, well, this is her.
Yeah. So
sorry, I was just curious how you came up with the name. Just off the top of your head.
I was just saying like the mad. I was trying to like flip it the way you always hear is like, you know, oh, I've got this dungeon, blah, 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 you know, and
right.
Oh, you know, like she's like not creepy at all. She's just, I mean, she's a fairly normal, not normal. She's kind of immortal, but like, she's a fairly normal chick who's just like, yeah, I need more money. And I, you know, like, it was a relatable thing.
Like my name's not, you know, my character, I shouldn't say character, but you know, my name is not that creative either, but I've went by it for so long.
Yeah. And it's something like, I mean, I have people who are like, oh yeah, Dr. Booby Stein. I'm like, no, it's Bubenstein. It just works. And that was part of her story was that, so when her ancestors came to Ellis Island, some jackass, it's really Bubenstein, some jackass at Ellis Island decided to make it Bubenstein.
Like, what was it, Corky Romano, when he was going by last name Pissant, and they're like, Pissin! He's like, it's Pissant. Just messing up the last name.
That British show, Keeping Up Appearances, where the lady tries to be all like uppity, and her last name is Bucket. People are like, Miss Bucket. She's like, no, it's Bouquet.
I have to check that out. I haven't watched that.
It's super old. It used to be on PBS, like when, you know, like back in the dark ages when I only had 4 channels. You watch that and like Monty Python and stuff, you know.
Right.
Great shows.
Yeah.
So I was going to say about Bubenstein, you said you created her a few years ago. I saw that there was a movie, Faces of Death or Faces of the Dead.
Faces of the Dead. So that was the first. Well, we ended up doing I think we called it the Thanksgiving special. That was kind of her, and that was just on YouTube. And then I did Faces of the Dead for Will Colazo. Another bucket list thing. I actually I have an IMDb credit in the same film with Lloyd Kaufman from that one. And I will have another one I just found out the other day. Now, this does not mean that I've ever met Lloyd Kaufman or that I can get him your phone number. Someone actually asked me that. And I'm like, you clearly do not know how movies work or anthologies. Like we were in completely like
different segments.
Like completely different things. But that was a fun one that actually led to something we talked about that actually led to me getting hooked up with Mark Polonia. And doing Sister Krampus, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. I'm gonna let you be the interviewer, but so that was a fun one, and that was another one I did from home. It was during the pandemic, and you know, Dr. Bubenstein has a lot of different backdrops, and
So that was the first movie you were Bubenstein, was that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And then I did a film called Purgatorio here in Indiana with a guy named Joey Jessup. He's an awesome dude. And we had a lot of cast changes. And so a lot of things had to be reshot. And he saw the Bubenstein thing. And he's like, okay. And then pandemic again, we had to do a lot of stuff like this, like pretending like we're doing video chatting and that kind of stuff. So he's like, can you play your character, who is like a detective, but play her as Dr. Bubenstein? So I actually am I'm like Dr. Bubenstein as an actress playing this CIA agent. Nice. So it was actually really fun.
That sounds fun.
It was fun, yeah.
Yeah, Patrick brought up another like British show, Are You Being Served?
Yes.
I love that show. I haven't seen it forever, but yeah, I used to love that show.
Oh, okay, that was a show that you're talking about. I saw that Are You Being Served? I didn't realize he was talking about a show.
Yeah, it's a TV show. I don't remember if it was on PBS. It might have been, but yeah, it's kind of old.
Those two used to play together quite a bit. So
then I've probably seen the other one and just not realized it. But yeah, I used to watch it. I'm old, so I know those things.
Oh no! We were in the car today, and no doubt, just a girl was on the radio, and my kid's 19. And she's like, wow, it is really hard to like, it's really weird to think this is still relevant. Like after, God, how many years? And I was like, it came out when I was in college. Now shut up. I'm like, I do the math in my head. I'm like,
no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. My son's 16 and he'll come across, he likes older songs. And he'll come across some, I forget what the song was now off the top of my head, but he was talking about the song he just discovered. And I was like, yeah, that was popular when I was in high school. It's like, I remember when that
came. So
it's
really old, right? Damn kids. My kid doesn't do that. My kid's not, she's an old soul. But, you know, yeah, she still thinks I'm 32. I'm 45. And apparently, when I was 32, she asked how old I was, and I said 32. And so that was, again, don't want to do the math. And I apparently have not changed since then. And so she's like, I just always think you're 32, because I asked you one time how old you were, and you said 32, and you seem the same now. So forever 32, man.
Dr. Bubenstein doesn't age.
That's
just
right.
Just like Elvira looks exactly the same.
Oh my God, she is an amazing person. Like, I don't know if you've ever met her in person.
Yeah.
I mean, she's adorable and tiny, and like she seems so larger than life, you know.
Yeah.
And then you meet her, and you're like, she like comes up to here on me, like, what the hell?
Yeah, she was sitting down for me, but I'm like, all up next to her, like, yay!
Yeah, it's just like not one of those things you would like expect. You like see this little like sweet redheaded girl, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, she was just normal when I see her. I hate to say it, just normal, but it was. I know some people have met her in the Elvira outfit. I didn't get to see that, but yeah, she was just Cassandra when I got to see her. But yeah, that was the greatest thing.
So. Yeah, I saw her. Luckily, she was both days. She did the photo op as Elvira, and then she was there as Cassandra and stuff. So her alter ego in reality.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and go back a little bit. What were some of your favorite movies growing up, and anything inspire you to do what you do today?
So when I was little, I was scared of everything. So I was very intrigued by horror, but scared the crap out of me. Same story that like a lot of people our age say. And then they go to the video store and you'd see these really cool covers of like, you know, it's just super intriguing. And you're like, wow, that scares me, but I'm still like interested too, you know? And so I was that total kid. And then as I became an adolescent, I became just a video store rat. And I just really liked horror, and like the cheesier, the bloodier, the gorier, the better. And there was one video store in my hometown, a little tiny town in Indiana. The guy was very into horror, and he got anything that was horror that came out. And so I had kind of a unique experience that I'd walk in and you know, you'd see all the blockbusters, and then you'd see, you know, like you'd see the Stephen King movies and blah, blah, blah on the shelf, but it's like, he would get all the shot on video movies and you know, independent stuff. And I would just look at the cover and I'd go, that's what I want to watch. And so I didn't know the difference between a $10,000 movie and a $10 million movie. I just knew what I saw and what I liked. Obviously pre-internet, again, you know, aging myself a little more. But in retrospect, the things that I really liked and that I would keep renting over and over, and the things that I still like were always the low budget ones. And so, and a lot of the shot on video ones. So I would rent Sleepaway Camp 2. Like, I like to make the joke, but it's not really a joke, that I rented it so much I probably could have bought the VHS when like buying a VHS was like hundreds of dollars. But you know, Sleepaway Camp movies, Friday the 13th is actually my like top franchise ever. You know, which is not exactly
every single Jason.
Yay. Fuck you, Uber Jason, though. No, I like Uber Jason. I just don't like his movie.
The best kill was the freeze, the face freeze.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
that's what I always say. Oh yeah, I've got that one too.
And my stepson gave it to me recently.
Uber Jason was a cool character. He just got stuck in a shitty movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are probably like my top ones. But I watched, like I said, a lot of shot on video, and so after the fact, you know, after I got a little older or whatever, I kind of realized like a lot of the people I was watching, that they weren't that much older than I was, and I wish I would have known that at the time. Like Tim Ritter, director of Sharks of the Corn, who was, I didn't know that, like, I mean, I watched Truth or Dare, Critical Madness, and Killing Spree. I know those two for sure my video store had. And I didn't know at the time that guy was, you know, 6, 7, 8 years older than I am. And that was it. Rolf Konevsky, There's Nothing Out There. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. That was like a shining star in the a bunch of turds in the 90s. And then I found out many, many years later, he was a year older than I was when he made that movie. And the Polonia brothers, like, you know, Splatter Farm, that was, you know, it wasn't lost on me since they were on camera. It wasn't lost on me that these were young guys doing this stuff. And I think there's something about like that, really, like that low budget. There's a lot more, there's heart and more relatability.
Yeah.
People look normal. It's hard to be scared for people when they look like Jessica Biel. You know, and I'm talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, which I loved, but it's like I still couldn't feel fear for her because I knew she was, like, they said cut and she was going to a trailer, air conditioned, you know, we like Perrier. And it's like, these are ones that you know that the people are actually like suffering. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, you know, the people were just miserable, you know, not in a I'm scared way, but just like it's hot and it's gross and it's stinky. And, you know, like they're probably eating outside, right outside of where they're shooting and all of those things. And so I think it's where my love and appreciation, I guess, for independent film and small films came from. But I do like, some of my favorite movies are big budget, like American Werewolf in London. It's one of my favorite movies. So, and I
watch a lot of independent as well, and some of them are just so silly. Like my husband, he'll usually watch something else with like headphones on, and he'll look is like, where do you find these movies?
That's the thing. It's like before you had to go look for them. Now they come to you.
Yeah.
And, you know, and there is a little bit of a flood of stuff. And I'm not going to say that everything that I've done has been like the highest quality. I don't really strive for that. As dumb as that sounds, I do things that I would want to watch. And, you know, and things that I feel comfortable that I could tell my friends, hey, go spend $15 and get this DVD and you'll have fun.
Right.
That's kind of all I'm in it for. Yeah. I haven't been in this for very long. I mean, I've been on the fan side of horror for so long, and then being on the other side, like podcasting and YouTube and films and all that. I've only been doing this for like 3 years. So, but I kind of do the things that I would want to watch. Like Carousel the second.
Right, yeah. I know if I had the opportunity, I would probably take it up.
So, did you see the first one before you heard about the second?
This is one of those full circle kind of stories. So I had just started podcasting October of 2018. It was the first kind of, I don't know, the first thing that I did, like out there, you know, and so in March, I went to Horror Hound, and I had seen Carousel. We did that on my podcast. Were like, this is fucking ingenious. I'm sorry. Can I cuss?
Yes. Yeah, you can. Don't worry. It's funny. Everybody always asks that. Like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Really in my life.
Go for it.
But I mean, we just thought it was hilarious. And then I was going to Horror Hound, and I found out that Steve Ruzinski, the director, which you guys know him, he was going to be there. And I was really, I have social anxiety, and I was really like trying to come out of my shell. And that weekend kind of was my weekend where I flipped a switch, and I was like, that's it. I'm just going to be out there. So I had contacted him, and I was like, hey, could I do an interview with you for my podcast and put it on YouTube? Because we like your movie and whatever, you know, and I was super, super nervous. And so, I interviewed him. He was my first filmmaker that I ever interviewed. And I was very supportive of the movie, you know, and we pimped that movie out to everybody. We loved it. And, you know, and I remained in contact with Steve. And then whenever, a year ago, maybe, or whatever, he messaged me and said, hey, we wrote a sequel, and would you want to read the script and audition for a part? There's a part I think you'd be good for. And I'm like, oh yeah. Like, how many times, like, you're a super fan of a movie, and then somebody goes, hey, do you want to be like one of the first people to like read the script to the sequel and then potentially be in it? Like, that doesn't happen, right? So I started reading it, and I was like, okay, 2 pages in, I was like laughing my ass off. I'm like, I'm in. and so I auditioned actually for Ilsa, who is the head Nazi.
Right.
I took 8 years of German in high school and college, and I have about the most Germanic schnoz ever, you know. So they ended up casting Aileen as Ilsa, but originally the 3 henchmen were all guys, but they liked me, they liked my accent, and whatnot. So they took this character Hans, and they flipped him into Katrina. So Hans was kind of a computer nerd. And so then they flipped him into Katrina and added a little bit of my stuff. Like, she has an only fascist page. And
for followers and stuff. Yeah, it worked out great.
Right. Like, she's more like, she's all about social media and, and so we kind of worked on like, okay, she's like super over the top, like almost like an influencer. Like, she's going to be like wearing, like, I'm going to have like pink eyeshadow and, and then I said, can I get a pink t-shirt with like a swastika on it? And there's a joke later. There was supposed to be a joke later in the movie about somebody else wearing a Nazi t-shirt. And Steve said, okay, I love that joke, but I love you wearing a pink t-shirt with a swastika where we're going to make this happen. If you Google anything like that, because I wanted to get like dangly swastika earrings and stuff, and you Google anything like swastika Nazi, no, you can't find it. Yeah, so Aileen actually has a Cricut machine. She made the shirt, so it says Leben Lauchen Hassen, which means live, love, hate. And it has a swastika on it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And you don't really I don't think that like you really get to see the shirt in all its glory. It just looks like she's wearing something sparkly. But yeah, right. That's what it says.
If you ever do like a convention or something, you should wear that shirt.
Well, the shirt is toast now. Oh. So I could probably get another one made, but that one is that one got kind of it's no spoiler alert. The Nazis die.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I get you now.
Yeah. So
Um,
pretty much my death scene was a one take kind of thing. So
yeah,
I didn't think about that.
go see Carousel and Carousel the second. It's great. So I still got to do my review. I'm so bad. I've been talking about it every week, but I haven't even done my review yet. But I've watched
Sound
it.
like me. I'm rubbing off on you.
But
I'll do
I've
this, and then
watched
3 weeks later, and I'll put it up.
you're doing your review by talking to people in it.
So exactly, that's how I'm promoting it.
Right.
But yeah, I'll do that. I was like on one show, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have this video come up. I'll get it started on a Monday, and I'll post it this week. 3 weeks later, I finally get around to
it. Since we're sort of talking about Carousel 2, there was a question for the contest from Patty. Part of it was since you have acted, written, directed, is there any one you prefer over all? And then what was it like playing a Nazi in modern day?
It was as far as what my favorite thing has been. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, every little thing has like a bucket list. Like I did a movie that wasn't the greatest, but I got an action figure made. And that made it all worth it, you know, like, so everything I have like some sort of, I don't know, like, I don't have a regret for anything that I've done. Let's put it that way. So I don't know that I've had a favorite, but playing a Nazi, it was like, we all had to check and I think that's the good thing about the cast and crew of this movie is that we all have sort of a juvenile potty humor. Like there's not like a line you can really cross. So you had to kind of like be like, okay, you know, people are going to be like, oh, they're glorifying Nazis, which of course is like one of the first things Steve had when he put out the original trailer. Dude, come on, it's comedy. Okay.
Right. You're more making fun of it than anything.
Right.
Oh yeah. They're complete freaking idiots.
Right.
You watch the first one and you're like, okay, like the question at the end is like, wait a minute, how did this unicorn turn into this sentient thing? You know, and I mean, so it's logical. That's what the sequel is going to be. And I think, I know that Steve and Aileen had the thought of what his backstory is going to be. And if you watch the first one, after watching the second one, you can see some hints that, you know, were kind of dropped in. But I mean, it's a sentient unicorn. It has to be outlandish and weird, and
right.
You know, I mean, because we're like Nazis, and we, you know, we do black magic and whatever. It was a little like we took down the Nazi flag every night just in case someone would walk into where we were filming.
Thinking, what did I just walk into? Did I walk into a meeting?
Yeah. And I wouldn't walk around like I wasn't going to like, you know, going to dinner wearing the
I was gonna say, just go out in public, go see a movie, go to dinner.
Right.
You know,
forget what you're wearing and go out.
Yeah, but it was fun because we were all just so like, you know, I mean, there were a lot of, you know, takes that were ruined by laughter and that kind of thing. I mean, because we all are just like, it's funny, whatever, who cares?
But yeah, a lot of people just like watch the trailer and not realize that, you know, it's meant to be made fun of and just think it's for, I could see that. Yeah, I mean,
there's a certain like, okay, so there's a certain audience for things like this. And I always say, for just about everything that I like, I always say, this movie isn't for everybody. Like, those are the movies that I like, the movies that aren't for everybody. So this isn't. I mean, you have to check your brain at the door.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to be like, okay, so I mean, you know, and spoilers for the first one because the second one like pulls off of that is that, I mean, in the first one, Duke has sex with a human woman who gives birth to a baby hybrid at the very end. And then that baby is like he's the critical point for part 2. I mean, like, you gotta check your brain at the door, people. If you want to have fun sometimes, just don't overthink it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you've actually touched on one of my questions. How hard was it learning to speak with German accent, but you said that you had German for, I forget how long you said for.
Yeah, but again, as we discussed before, high school and college was a couple decades ago.
Yeah.
So it wasn't difficult. I just but I was probably a little bit more, I feel like I didn't loosen up enough. Like, I feel like I was really nervous. I was kind of nervous because, like, I was kind of fangirling. Like, I walked in on set the first day, and there's, like, Duke sitting right there, Yes. And I'm, and it's like, and Steve, I thought Steve was awesome. And, Aileen's cool. And, like, I felt like I was, like, this outsider kind of, like, I was coming in and I was kind of nervous. I feel like I was a little too stiff. But I think having a background in the German language actually kind of probably hindered the comedy, because I was a little too, I was like, oh, damn it, I said a W, not a V, so that was a little difficult, because it's like, you watch movies and you're like,
what are you talking about now?
Yeah, you watch movies and you're like, oh, that's the worst British accent I've ever heard, or whatever. It's like, I didn't want somebody to say that about me. Like, of all things, like, you know what? Like, I spent a lot of time and money on my education. I minored in German. And this is the first thing that I've ever done in my life that actually used my minor in German. So, hey, kids, keep taking electives. They may pay off someday.
I know I took some Spanish in high school, probably about the same, because I'm not much different in age than you are, but it was like one class. It was like one class back in high school, and now I have more trouble speaking it, but I can understand more than what I can say.
If you can order a beer when you're in Cancun, success. You've used your education,
Right. That's about. I can do small talk. That's about it.
If
but
you
it's like
be
really
an
choppy.
Immortal Nazi chasing after a sentient unicorn in a movie, then you've used your education.
Right. It definitely paid off.
That'd be funny. He's like, what do I want to use my education for?
Be a Nazi. Who doesn't want to do that?
Yeah.
Well, I guess since I asked Patty's question for the contest, I'll go ahead. There's a few others here from 24 Anthony Moe. Guessing he's still here. I'm not sure. But what is your most memorable and favorite memory of being on any set?
Okay. I maybe this is a little bit of a cheat, because it was after hours. But so I wrote, produced, and directed my own film, The Embalmers, and it was a lot of freaking work, and it was stressful, and it was crazy. But we all stayed in this one house that we shot in. We pretty much we would stay up all night, shoot all day, and just. It was a crazy like a family, like a really like dysfunctional family kind of feeling. And so we would watch movies at night. And Andy Collins, who plays May in that movie, she was like, we've got to watch this movie called Island of Death. And I'm like, sounds familiar. And then it come to find out I'd seen this movie, but watching it with a group of people, I mean, we had so much fun. I mean, there's a dude who he fucks a goat and then he sacrifices it. And it's like, so like, it's still to this day, anybody who was on that set, all you got to do is send a little goat emoji. And it means like a lot. So I don't know. I think that was like one of those, it was a bonding moment that we all were just like, what the fuck are we watching? And it's totally, we're not talking like Serbian film kind of stuff. We're talking, it is the most ridiculous, badly done movie ever. It's like dubbed badly. I mean, it's just laughable. It's like The Room with goat sacrifice.
Well, I guess there was no sequel with that goat's kid in it.
Sorry for my dog barking too. I was trying to like muffle my mic, so I don't know how much you heard of her barking, but yeah, she's on the front porch. She was barking at something. So.
Oh, that's funny. Anthony, he just put up a thumbs up and 2 goats.
There you go.
Wait, I don't know if you should put the thumbs up the goat for. I don't know that emoji.
And the guy in the movie did.
Okay, now this is a G-rated podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck that.
We've done failed that like months ago.
Oh yeah,
especially a couple weeks ago. All
these weeks, I think. Actually, I don't know. Oh boy, what was it? Jamie's Aqua Tits, Aquapocalypse. Anyway, Hobbs Horror. He wants to know. Well, you answer that first part about. Are you a horror fan, and do you prefer the horror genre for your films?
I am 100% horror fan. I like obnoxiously so. Like, my boyfriend will sometimes say, "Hey, can we watch a normie movie tonight?" Like, yeah. So I just horror's my thing. It definitely was. I was a fan first, and then I kind of got the really unique opportunity to move into doing what I love. It's because there are a lot of people who they fall into horror. They're actors or whatever, and they happen to do a horror movie. I mean, my boyfriend's one of them, Rob Bello. So he, was the killer in Happy Death Day. Horror is not like his thing, but like he landed this role in, a Blumhouse horror movie, and then so he's like linked to horror no matter what. Doesn't mean he hates horror, but like I came into horror because I loved horror and I chose it. Like horror chose him, I chose horror.
I love those Happy Death Day movies. I absolutely love those movies.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I had his kids to, I have his kids right now, his 10-year-old twins. He's filming right now in Texas, and I've got the kids, and we went to Spirit Halloween today, and they had like the baby face mask. So I'm like, guys, come on, scoot in. And they're just like, back. And I'm like, no, I need to take a picture for your dad.
It came in one of the, not BAM box, I forget which box it was. If it was Fright Crate, one of the boxes, they actually had the baby face mask, and he signed it. So I actually have the baby face mask that he had signed for the box there. I'm not sure where it is right now, but if I would have known that, I would have worn it as like a little Halloween.
And that's why I said too, we're shopping for these like really obnoxiously intricate costumes, and I'm like, dude, you guys could just wear those and be your dad.
That's what you got to do.
Done.
Sweet and simple. Baby face killer. There we go.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, you. And for your films then too, you like doing horror.
Yeah. I love horror. Yeah. It's totally my passion. And
I was like, you got off track there. I was like, yeah.
and I love being killed.
Oh yeah.
So I work a normie job. I'm an IC, so I'm a network admin. And people don't like we are like, this is like normal shit to us, right? But like when you get outside of there, like if you go to any like normal Walmart, the chances that you'll find somebody who's more than just a casual horror viewer is like super low. Finding somebody else who actually knows about any of this stuff like in real life is crazy. So the people at work just don't get it at all. And when this came out, because they'll ask me every once in a while, they're like slightly intrigued, and they think it's kind of cool, but that's not their thing. They'd never watch any of my movies, which is a good thing. I don't really want like, my coworkers to see my tits. But like when this came out and everything, they were like, oh, so like, do you live to the end? I'm like, fuck no. I'm like, I'm the cold open, man. I'm like the first killed. And they're like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, are you kidding? That's the best thing to be. Like, I want to make a career out of just being the cold open kill, because it's like in a movie that's low budget, the first kill has to be epic because it has to draw the people in. The viewers have to have like what they want. They need blood and gore and shock value and whatever. And I'm like, I love being the opening kill.
As I was saying earlier, just like in Jaws, you're the opening kill.
Yes,
for the there
right.
You go.
And that was definitely what that was. Tim had not written the script yet. He had just gotten a name and an idea from Ron Bonk at SRS. He said, hey, do you want to make this Corn Sharks movie for me? And he's like, all right, well, Jaws is one of Tim's favorite movies. So he's like, I knew it was going to have some sort of parody or homage to Jaws. So he's like, well, I'm going to have, the opening be like the opening scene of Jaws, but it's going to be in a cornfield,
Yeah.
So, and I was going down there to Kentucky to shoot for another movie that weekend. And he had just gotten, this deal or whatever with Ron. He's like, hey, we're going to get you in Corn Sharks, which was the working title. Corn Sharks. You want to do that? I was like, well, yeah. So we didn't know, like when we shot that and all the stuff that Jason Boyd and I are talking about and everything, that's all ad-libbed. And Tim's just feeding us like, okay, now you're going to talk about, okay, his brother owns the newspaper and they have pictures of Bigfoot in the newspaper. Just talk about that. Whatever. Like he just won the corn eating contest. Just talk about that. He kept throwing out stuff that like may or may not be part of the story, but just it would be good to have for footage if he had, so he could just cut it up to walk along with the actual movie. So
Corn sharks would have been funny. Are they made of corn?
Yeah.
And with talking about the corn sharks, how was it stripping in the cornfield? Was it like extremely itchy?
Okay, so so the night before I left, so the thing that I really was going down there to shoot was which is still not out. It's like a Jess Franco kind of homage called Mistress Ingrid Desaad, and it's these ladies who kind of do vigilante justice against bad people. I'll just leave it at that. And so I was going to have to like run through the woods in heels and get chased and killed. And then the next day, run through a cornfield and take off my clothes. And we obviously did it very comedic. He had these ideas first. He's like, I want you to have like a bonnet and, just like a winter coat. And I was like, he just wanted like the striptease to be like, oh my God. So I instead did the thing. Like I had just layers and layers of black stuff, like a black tank top, a black t-shirt, a black dress, so there's just like, you're just going, oh my God, how much shit does this girl have on? So that was on purpose. But the night before I left to go down there, I had all my stuff packed. And I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. And my backpack, which had like a computer and everything else in it, was on the floor. And I kind of tripped over it. And my toe got caught in the strap and dragged this 30, 40-pound backpack across the floor. And I was like, I was doing Peter Griffin for a while going, and I was like, that
for like 20
feel
minutes.
quite right. I woke up the next day and my second toe was like twice the size and black and blue. Oh. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's broken. Okay, that's all right. Okay, it's really hard to walk, but I'm just going to go ahead and drive. It'll be fine. I don't shoot till tomorrow.
It'll be overnight.
I sent a picture to my sister when I got to the hotel room. I'm like, do you think this is broken? She's like, yeah. So I ended up doing the running through the woods thing with this broken toe, and it had rained. So I'm going through the slick woods, and I actually at one point fell and I grabbed onto a tree, and I did kind of this pole dance move or whatever, and like I was like, oh, sorry. Tim's like, no, just keep going. That looks really good. Just keep going. And so then the next day, then I had to do the same thing, the broken toe. But corn stalks are not weight bearing, I found out. Cannot rely on them. And they're very, like the silks are very scratchy. They do kind of hurt. So
yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, man, that poor girl. She's probably extremely itchy and
but that's the thing though, I'll do anything for like horror or comedy. Like if I think it's gonna be worth it, I'll do it. I don't care. Yeah. So it was kind of gross and hot and sticky and but it was fun. Hey guys, I can say that I did it, and I can say that I did a Tim Ritter movie,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to watch it the other day. I found it on Plex. It was so good. I quite enjoyed it anyway. But I like those type of movies.
Yeah. Again, it's not for everybody.
Right. I'm slightly shark obsessed.
Yeah, Circula.
Oh, awesome.
Just a little bit.
So it's my friend Maddie Deering. I actually did her podcast a week or so ago, the Shitty Shark podcast. And that's why she talks about a shitty shark movie. So they did Sharks of the Corn. Again, another bucket list. I was in a shitty shark movie.
Check. Shitty shark movies? Check. Yep. Running through a cornfield naked? Check.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, great checklist. Last question we got is from Patrick. What has been your most challenging role so far, and what made it such a challenge? Which probably broke it down. You probably already answered that, but go ahead.
Yeah, but that's something. I'm a pretty stubborn person, so I can get through that. Mm-hmm. I think the most challenging thing that I will be doing, I'm actually doing next month. I'm doing this movie called Bishop's Cove. It's from Charles Lincoln, who is the director of. It's an Amazon Prime show called 21st Century Demon Hunter. And they've shot a lot of the movie, and it looks really good. He won a bunch of awards with his last movie, like at a lot of film fests or whatever. So it's a little intimidating, but So this movie takes place, it toggles between like the year 2001 and 2021. And so there are not a lot, but there's a handful of characters that have like a younger version and older version. And so he shot all the younger version of this character, and he needed the older version. And he had already tried to cast somebody for one of the other older or younger versions or whatever, and it just cost him way too much money. He did a nationwide search and blah blah blah, and it was a pain in the ass. We saw me on Facebook, and he knew I was an actress. He knew I was willing to show my tits. I was willing to do crazy shit, and I had a very similar bone structure to his young Barb. And he's like, okay, this is just a total crapshoot, but would you be interested in auditioning for this? You look the part, you've got all the stuff. And if you could do it and nail it, it would be way easier for me than to try to find somebody. So I'm like, sure. But she is a really, really terrible person. Terrible. I have to so I'm doing this in November, going out to I've never been to New York. I'm shooting in Manhattan. I've never been to Manhattan, and but I have to physically assault people and things.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I have to be a really mean bitch, and I think I'm gonna nail it. But I'm nervous, because I feel like I'm going to be oh gosh. So that one's going to be really difficult. And then the other one that I'm doing, I can't say a whole lot about it, but yeah, there's another one that my character does get brutally raped and killed. And it's going to be weird. And the director is one of my friends, and he does not like to do violent scenes like that. And so there's a little bit more on me to make sure that he is okay with things. I know that sounds kind of weird or backwards, but, to make sure he knows that I can tell him if I'm uncomfortable or whatever. And so he trusts me. But yeah. That's kind of a little heavier. And that one's going to kind of be horror. It's a little bit more like an Andy Sedaris movie kind of thing, just over the top, just I don't know, alligators and guns and whatever. I don't think they're really alligators. I don't know why. I just thought of alligators when I said Andy Sedaris. It was no, I should have said snakes. But yeah, those are probably going to be the most difficult things.
And then Tim, our buddy Tim Hatch wants to know, what's your favorite scary movie?
What's your favorite scary movie? And Tim, I just worked with Tim. He was in Sister Krampus as well. We just did that in Pennsylvania last month, and it's coming out in November. I'm like, Mark, you are a machine.
Oh, yeah.
But my favorite, not only my favorite scary movie, my favorite movies of all time, and I always kind of toggle between the two. Kind of depends on the day. And that's Friday the 13th Part 2 and Sleepaway Camp Part 2.
Great movies.
Decisions, but both great.
Yeah.
More than one.
Yeah, I don't like to be limited anyway. That's not a good point.
It's hard to choose. You can never choose a favorite scary movie. They're so
they're like children. You know? You like some of them better on different days.
Right. I know I have a hard time choosing because I'm really big into the Evil Dead movies, and like Evil Dead 2 was my favorite for a long time, but I also like Army of Darkness. I like the funnier ones. Of course you still gotta love the first one, but it's like I kind of toggle between those two, or I just say Evil Dead Trilogy if somebody asks. Because at the time there was only 3. We didn't have the remake at the time when I was being asked, but
you know what's funny is that the first one is my favorite, and everybody will always cite 2 or Army of Darkness, like without fail. I liked the first one, I think, because of the same thing that I was saying before. I love how just low budget and rudimentary it was. Yeah. Like Evil Dead 2 is almost like a mulligan. They're like, oh wait, so people like this, so we're going to kind of almost do our own reboot now that we got money. Let's do it the way we wanted. But I really like the feel and of the first one.
Right, yeah, I still like the first one too, but I like how Bruce does Ash like in the second one, how he like gets out of himself. It's more
outlandish.
It's more silly and corny and whatnot than
you gotta love Ash.
Right. But yeah, I love them all the same, but that's why I used to say this Evil Dead Trilogy. I wouldn't even narrow it down.
And notice I say Sleepaway Camp 2, not Sleepaway Camp 1, which I do love Sleepaway Camp. However, I rented Part 2 probably a dozen times before I ever watched the first one. And they are both, like, those 2 movies are, I mean, I know there's, like, similarities with, like, the character, but those might as well be 2 completely different, universes. They're just completely different movies, but I love them both too.
Right. Yeah, there's no wrong saying and picking, like, say you love, I'll say it, because Jason 8 is actually one of my favorite Jasons.
Yeah!
A lot of people say.
It was my first Jason movie, believe it or not, and so I fell in love with that, and I do kind of like the outer space one too, just for the silliness factor. And like when he's like in the
you are dead to me, girl. You are dead to me.
Like when he's in that thing and they're like doing the hologram thing and they're making him see all the stuff.
We like
that
to
part,
have premarital sex.
He picks up the 2 sleeping bags and just starts whipping them. I like it. I appreciate the silly factor. I agree that not everybody likes it. They like more serious movies, but yeah, I don't hold anybody against like what movies they like. I just like the more stupid movies.
And then Jason takes a boat ride,
right? Or swims or something, and Rennie gets that god awful pendant. There's so many things to love about that movie. She has Stephen King's pen for some reason, and she takes her dog on a boat to New York because you do. I actually I dig Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah. Yeah, I got started late in the horror realm as well because I wasn't allowed to watch horror movies when I was little, but I was fascinated by it. But I was scared of weird things like what you mentioned, so probably because I was so sheltered from stuff. So
and isn't that a funny thing that I think the generations now, like horror is not taboo anymore. Like it's like just so ubiquitous that like kids are just desensitized, and so they don't have that thing that we had of like, ooh, we had to. We just sneak at the, had to sleep over, wait till mom and dad went to bed so we could watch something on Cinemax and all this. It was like our porn, right? And and so I think that's why our generation is so like has so much not just like love for horror, but just so much like passion for it.
Yeah.
Because it was just something that we weren't allowed to do. And now we're adults and we have to do adult shit. But we can watch whatever we want.
Right.
I can stay up as late as I want, as long as I get up when I go to work tomorrow. And I can watch whatever I want, as long as my internet is holding up for streaming. Adult life.
Watch what you want.
Right.
It's like, this is rated adult. All right.
Right.
I know, that's why what you were saying, like your boyfriend's like, oh, can I watch something else? And I was like, me and my husband, because he hates horror movies. So we've got to the point where he has his own little corner, he's got his own little TV, and he's got his headphones, and then I'll watch, whatever, and every now and then he'll turn around and it's like, what the hell are you watching?
Yeah.
It's all the fun stuff, though. Come on.
It's usually the movies that are more entertaining. You'll just look at it like, what the hell? Where do you find this
Go
shit?
put on that Island of Death movie and just kind of, drop something really loudly when that goat scene comes on. So he'll look over and be like, girl, I'm divorcing you.
It's like, you thought what I was watching before was bad. Was
Yeah,
bad.
I don't think you would be surprised. To be quite honest, I don't think you would be surprised. Some of the stuff he's caught me watching, I don't think you'd be surprised. But yeah, I'll have to keep that in mind.
Island of Death. All right. Got a mental note of that there. All right. So yeah, that was with a few questions there. So which one do you think gets Fright Vision there? You want me to? You want me to repeat it again real quick, just to refresh your memory?
Okay, yeah, just tell me the questions. Don't tell me.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Yeah,
just tell me the questions. I'll tell you which one I like the best.
Okay, so yeah, it was about your writing, directing, producing, which you prefer, and how was it playing a Nazi in the present? What has been your most challenging role? Are you a horror fan and you prefer that genre? And what was your most memorable moment?
I'm gonna go with what was it like to play a Nazi?
All right.
Because how many times in your life can people ask you that, like in all seriousness? What was it like to be a Nazi, an immortal Nazi?
All right. So Patty again got the question. So she got Sleepless Nights and Fright Vision. So I'll be sending both of those to her. So.
Nice.
Save
on shipping.
I just saved you postage.
Save on shipping. Thank you. Oh, that's funny. Anthony put again the goat symbol, and he said congrats. So yeah, all right. Well, thank you for participating, and I've got tons of more Wild Eyes I'll be giving away in the future too. So keep an eye out for that.
Another checklist off my bucket list too is I'm in a Wild Eye movie. And now I'm in 2 SRS movies.
There you go.
And in this year, and today was the second time this year, I've been sort of recognized by Joe Bob Briggs.
Oh, nice.
Sort of recognized.
I don't know if you've noticed.
I can't see it.
Joe Bob.
Oh, yeah.
I'm huge. He actually introduced me to horror. I found him on Monster Vision back in the 90s.
Nice.
And that's how I got introduced. And now he's been back. I watch like everything he does on Shudder.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the Halloween stuff last night because my internet sucks so bad. I actually have to watch that.
Yeah,
stuff.
apparently we broke the internet again. A lot of people was having issues. So.
Yeah, I have to watch that stuff at work. I just have like one earbud in, kind of passively watch movies for podcasts because I have like no internet here.
It looks like Rob Mello is in here.
Rob Mello, he finally woke up.
Well,
now that we're wrapping up.
No, you can stick around as long as you like. That's fine. So I guess you were mentioning Sister Krampus a little bit. So your character in it is the main character in that one, or you said?
Yeah.
Or?
So I originally was going to be said demonic nun or whatever, which is much more up my alley.
Mm-hmm.
Being, the kind of the crazy over the top character. But then Danielle Donahue has been in a few of Mark's movies. She was supposed to be one of the normal people.
Mhm.
And she's like, I'm always one of the normal people. So he's like, okay, Becca, do you want to be the lead normal person? And then Danielle will be the crazy nun. And I'm like, wow, that's going outside of my like comfort zone. Like, I got to be a normal person, whatever. But yeah, so it's basically two sisters, myself and Marie. I'm going to say her name wrong. I'm going to butcher it. It's the same as the girl who's on Ash versus Evil Dead.
Oh, okay.
Lorenzio, I think is how you say it.
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah. Lots of syllables. But we are sisters who have some shared trauma from our lives, and we are backpacking through Europe around Christmas time, and we run into the titular character. So yeah. But nice. I do like to say that my character has like some energy draining issues throughout the movie. And so there are a lot of times that she's very tired and sick and laying in bed. And we film like all of those all at the same time. So I like to say, I'm like, wow, this is like the dream right here. All I'm doing is like laying in a bed, going to sleep, waking up, laying back down. Like I did that for an afternoon. I'm like, I can sleep like a champ, can I? Yeah.
You gotta film me sleeping for an hour? Okay, I'll be up soon.
No, it was not a comfortable bed, and it was in Mark's shed in his backyard. But laying down, I can do that. I can do it.
Right. So, how was it that you met Mark for the first time?
I will admit that I was a little fangirly, not total fangirly, but like I said, I'd watched his movies, his and John's movies, and when I was a kid, I was supposed to be in Feeders 3, which like is the shot on video fans' dream. I get this message from Mark Polonia, do you want to be in Feeders 3? And I'm like, well, yeah. Well, it happened to be the same time I was filming my movie, The Embalmers. And I was like, and then I had, I guess prior to that, I had auditioned for a movie for him. And it came down to me and one other person. And I was told that it was because I was farther away. And I'm like, I have to spare my feelings. I'm fine. I'm not going to be one of those people who's going to get on social media and be like, oh, this movie sucks because I didn't get the part. It's like, okay, because I hate when people do that. And this, right. And now I have this story to say, hey, listen, I didn't get the part that I wanted. And you know what? Now I'm like, here it is, like a year later, I'm the lead in the guy's next movie. So right. Don't burn bridges. That's my advice to anybody who's in this. Don't burn bridges.
Yeah.
Don't, casting is a terrible thing to have to do. And, but yeah, so he flew me out and we did it over Labor Day weekend, kind of an extended weekend. And, but when, he picked me up from the airport, so, basically everything he's ever filmed is in this little town in Pennsylvania. Right. And, so I got like a 5-minute Polonia Brothers, tour of like, okay, so like, like in Splatter Farm, where we're doing this or whatever, that's where we did it. He's just driving me around. He's like, Feeders, when John's running through the field, that's where we did it. And like, so it was really like, it was cool. Like, and I mean, literally, when I found out like everything pretty much that he's ever filmed is like within like this 10-minute block of time. Like you could get to any of the places. It was really kind of cool. He's like, I live in a movie set, and it's like this really idyllic, very cute colonial town that like 1 minute you're like in this cute little town square, and then you go like 2 blocks and there's like woods. So yeah, it is like the perfect place to film anything.
That's what everybody pretty much who's working with said. Yeah, it's all right there. Perfect film.
It's all pretty much right there. We ended up having to go kind of far because we got rained out on one of our locations. So we had to go maybe about 45 minutes away for, kind of a plan B type thing. But yeah, pretty much it was all right there. Yeah, and I love the whole crew: Jeff Kirkendall, Tim Hatch, Maria Polonia, is a fabulous cook and takes care of us.
That's what I heard.
About that.
Yeah.
Well, she serves everybody. She's the server on the set there.
Yeah. She
sounds
I'm
amazing.
like, wow. I'm like, home cooking on set. Like, wait, you're not making me eat like Little Caesars again? I don't know. If anybody doesn't know what Little Caesars is, it's the cheapest pizza you can buy.
Yes.
And if you've ever done a movie in a place where there's a Little Caesars, you've had Little Caesars on set. It's $5 for a pizza.
Yeah.
You can't get a better bargain.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're large pizzas too. But yeah, they're not the greatest pizzas. Well, they're all right. I remember my hometown Little Caesars tasted like cardboard, but then we moved along farther away, and the one we actually, I was say we had two, but I think one closed down. But the one here is not that bad. They make it a little bit fresher, but the one back home literally tastes like cardboard every time.
Yeah, it depends on if they get enough traffic because they make so many of the pizzas. So it's hot and ready. That's all they guarantee. That's all they say. They don't say it's yummy or good. It's just hot and ready.
Right.
So it may be hot because it's been sitting in the oven for 3 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get ones that have higher traffic. They make them a little bit more frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my hometown was smaller than up here, so I could see that. But yeah, every time we got it, it was like cardboard. It was.
Pizza.
So that's why we had it on at Balmer's.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We only had it once. That is probably my one I don't know, like super flaw when I am filming is I try to take care of people too much. Like I spend way too much on food and drinks for people. Like, because I mean, I've been on sets where there's like one pizza for 10 people and you're like, okay. Like, I mean, I bring my own food because I know how it goes or whatever. So I kind of like combat that. So don't diss the Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Yeah. You gotta cut corners sometimes.
Right. It's hard to, feed our, however many people.
Yeah.
I know it gets expensive sometimes, just the three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I spent $35 at Burger King today. And I was like, what the hell? Burger King?
Order your Chinese quietly.
Order your Chinese. Yeah, you got your Chinese on the side and everybody else got pizza. That's funny. That's what Rob said. He said, order your Chinese quietly.
No, I ate leftovers while everybody else got fresh food. Whatever.
Get like a DoorDash or something to sneak in and.
No, we actually had to do that on the Embalmers. We shot in a house that was in the middle of suburbia. There wasn't really like a restaurant close by, and so we didn't have like PAs that would go out and run and get food. Like I was getting up every day and going to the IGA and getting water and snacks and everything. Because I just didn't have anybody to do any of that. So we did a lot of DoorDash and it was really expensive.
Yes.
And there's actually
it's like $20 more, not including like your tip and everything.
All right, and then when you get individual things for everybody.
Yeah.
Because like there was like one night where I realized, because it was shot during pandemic, and so things were closing down a little earlier. And so there was one night we were shooting kind of late and it was like 8:45 and I realized all the DoorDash places were going to close at 9. So we're trying to finish these scenes and like there's one time that you hear me go, okay, order your Chinese food quietly and action. Because everybody's got they're just passing my phone around because I'm like, we got to get our order in. So we're just passing it around set while we're still trying to film. So
that's awesome. I know you briefly touched on it earlier about your YouTube channel. You would like to let us know more about that?
I need to get back into it. It's been a little, my life's been a little hectic lately. So it is the Not Quite Final Girl. I started it because of my love for the lesser known girls in horror. So everybody talks about the final girl. So I decided to devote some time to the chicks that die in movies that maybe we need to talk about. And it's since kind of branched out. I do a lot of what I do that people like is drunken commentaries. I drink and I watch a movie. And I just like MS3TK, like rip it.
I was gonna say Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah, MST3K. I don't know if I said that right, but yeah, I kind of just
Close
riff
enough.
on it and tell and like it's kind of the way I watch movies. And Rob can attest to this. It's very annoying to some people, but to some people it's very entertaining because I know too much about a lot of these movies, so I just want to like tell trivia, be like, oh, did you know that he broke his finger when he was filming this and blah blah blah. If you're the kind of person who's like, shut up, I'm trying to watch the movie, probably my channel's not the place to go. But if you like a wealth of really useless knowledge about movies, I'm definitely the place to go.
Nice.
And then I also do some podcasts. So I do SOBs Who Love SOB, the Silver Bolo award-winning podcast we did.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So that was my first in it, like sort of mention from Joe Bob.
I accidentally cut you off on that. I didn't get you to. I didn't let you finish on that.
No, that was just me living my, going, living my glory. But so I do that one. But the one I do most right now is the Slumber Party Massacre podcast. So we have a whole little family of podcasters that we all, I don't know, kind of a shallow gene pool sort of thing. And there are several girls who we are always the girl on the podcast. Like it's always a bunch of dudes and then, hey, and then it's the girl. And so we kind of were like, you know what, like, let's do our own podcast where it's just girls. And so we're all like, it's like all of the like token bassists of all of the bands got together to like make the Go-Go's. And
nice.
So we're just like, so we do like a 3-act structure. We do girl talk. We play a game. We do it like, it does feel like a slumber party when we do it.
Nice.
Yeah, so girl talk is usually like we'll tell stories about certain things that are relevant to like the movie that we're watching. We do a pillow fight where we usually fight out something horror related, and then we have a feature presentation where we watch a movie. So you can find us on Facebook, Slumber Party Massacre Podcast.
Nice.
We'll look that up for sure.
I know I was sad when they announced they weren't doing the Silver Bolos anymore. I was like, man, that was my inspiration to, get my channel to do good. Mine's, crap right now, but that was my inspiration to like push myself to learning the editing and everything and trying to get better. And I was like,
yeah, it was just because those one douchebags, that's one bad apple kind of thing.
Yeah.
Actually, that night, so it's SOBhorror.com that got the Silver Bolo, which my podcast is part of. And it was the night he did the shot on video stuff. And he played Sledgehammer and Things, and people like rioted that he played Things because it's like one of the worst movies ever in the history of the world. But you know what? It's pretty.
I stuck through it.
But I
did the Iron Man challenge, but I didn't know. I didn't have like my notes and stuff ready, and I was like, I think we had to leave or something, so I didn't get to see part of it. I don't remember.
There were several of us who were like, "Oh my god, they're playing Things!" And then like you get like we were messaging each other, and then like you look on Facebook and people are like, "What the fuck is he showing us?" The rest of us are like, "Yay!"
I've never seen it before, but I was, I stuck through it, and I like being introduced. Like last night's movies, I've never seen either one of them. And
it was Angel
and Terror Train.
Oh yeah, Terror Train. That was, oh man,
That's the one they did a creep show on, I believe, wasn't it? Was that the one they did creep show with Justin?
No, I think that was Horror Express.
Oh, Horror Express. Never mind. Got it mixed up.
Terror Train has the fabulous David Copperfield. Yes. I had such a crush on him when I was
Me too.
And I mean that was like right after he started gaining fame and everything. And he was just so handsome. That's my favorite part of that movie.
Yes, brought back some memories. Like I said, I ain't much different in age than you. I'm 42, so yeah, I remember him back in his heyday back then.
Oh
so,
yeah.
Rob says sigh date night.
Yeah.
Oh shit. No, I'm kidding.
One of the
So I watched the first movie, and then my dog had peed on the floor, so I was out like cleaning that, go outside, and I come back in and my phone's blowing up. Like, oh my god, that's your show, isn't it? That's what I'm like. I don't know what any of you are talking about, so I totally missed it.
Oh no!
And like I was like, what? You know, and then like one of my co-hosts, Slade, he's messaging me and he's going, did that just really happen? And like, I'm like, what happened? You know, so I totally missed it. And Tony, who is Tony Masiello, who is our grand poobah, the dude who is SOVhorror.com and all of the SOV things, we kept messaging him and we're like, dude, you need to wake up, you know? And come to find out, that was like one night he was like, I am so done with social media. I'm turning off my phone tonight. And I'm not turning my phone on like until tomorrow morning. He's like, it's the one day in my entire life I've done this. It was like the one day he's like, I woke up to hundreds of messages. But yeah, it is sad that they took that away, because that was a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, I was working so hard to get to my channel to be good enough to be able to be on there, and it's just like, that took a huge blow of my motivation away, and I've just been like not doing videos as much as I was, and not just because of that, but there's other reasons too, but that didn't help situation.
Yeah. Speaking of, I probably need to get drunk and do a drunken commentary for my channel.
There you go.
Inspiration, right?
Right.
From the House of Horrors to drunken commentary. There you go.
Yep.
The things would be perfect to be drunk.
Yeah.
Well, even Brian Bremer, he was having a good time on our podcast. He was having a little drink too. That's all it is here, just a good time. So.
I also seen that you also have written coverage of independent horror movies. Where can we find that at?
So I do write for pophorror.com. Again, I've been slacking on that, although I did recently do a retro review for, what did I do a review for? For the Boogan. I say the Boogans. The commercial says the Bogans. I'm like, if it's BOO, that's Boogans. But yeah, so I write for them. I just kind of am a little bit of everywhere. But yeah. Nice. You follow me on Facebook.
Keep an eye on
it. As soon as I get out of Facebook jail, I'll post on my
Oh, that's right. Facebook jail.
Instagram. I can post on Instagram. Follow me there. I'm Jason's Girl 1976.
All right. So we'll follow you there then.
Yeah. Until I'm back. But you guys follow me for more recipes for toilet wine, because I'm perfecting it. I did learn from my friend Noelle how to make, and I'm not kidding, how they make prison dildos the other day. Because I made the joke that, like, if I was really in jail, like I wouldn't be making shivs, I'd be making like dildos, and she taught me how to do it. Well, Google that, kids. Google that. Prison dildos.
Prison dildos. All right. Is that one L or two? How do you spell that?
Oh, don't worry. Google autocorrect it for you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Google autocomplete. Just type in DIL. It'll figure it out.
What was the movie? Let's Go to Prison? And he goes, he's like, I made it in the toilet. We had that rubber.
I just found you on Instagram, so I send that's what I'm doing.
Here we go. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. My phone's about ready to die.
No problem. It was great.
But my internet held out.
It did hold out. Yeah, anything else you want to promote or tell us besides your Instagram before you go? Anything else, or that's it pretty much?
Yeah, so I do have a couple things coming up, but I have not been auditioning for much stuff because I'm working towards my movie written by Rob Mello, my next my next directing stab called Tin Roof. So you can find us on Facebook, Tin Roof Movie. We're also on Instagram. I think we're just Tin Roof Movie. And it is a fresh take on the camp slasher. And we are going to be filming in May here in India.
Nice. All right. Sounds like a good time. We'll be looking forward to it. Thanks again.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Have a great night.
Bye. Right, you too. Bye.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was. Oh, man. Good times. Good times.
Right. Close out this before my tablet dies.
Yep.
So I have all my notes on here, so I keep it going the whole time, so I can keep looking over here and seeing that.
That Nazi question was a good one.
Yeah.
Saved me on shipping too, apparently. That's funny. Oh, yeah. I was watching some of the creep shows earlier today, or last night, whenever it was. Joe Lynch actually directed another one of those this new season, so that was a good one.
I haven't got to see the new season yet. I need to, but I've been kind of behind on my watching things. I watched something recently. I can't think what it was now. I don't know. I'll think of it eventually.
Other than that, that's pretty much been going on. Watched Creep Show. I watched Fright Vision again today, just refresh on my Bubenstein.
I know. I wish I could have found that to watch, but it would have been too late of a notice to order it and have it shipped to me. But
yeah, I think you can order it off Amazon. I think.
But I hate Amazon. I refuse. I absolutely refuse to shop on Amazon. You can ask my husband if you don't believe me.
Or I wonder if it's on Vudu. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. I'll buy movies on Vudu because that's where all my digital stuff is. But I either shop at an actual store, or sometimes I'll do eBay if I can't find it. But no, Amazon pissed me off too much. I refuse. I do. My husband gets so annoyed, and he's like, "Why don't we just order on this?" It's like, "Well, you're doing it on your account because I will not make one. I will not order through them."
Okay. Amazon bad. Okay.
Yeah, they screwed me over a couple Christmases in a row, and it pissed me off so much. It's like I'm never ordering through them again, and I held my word.
I guess they're probably yeah, sure, whatever. Because a lot of people will be like, I'm never going to order it. And then a week later off.
Right, yeah, I did. I held my word. Now, I don't care if he orders. He'll order something. He do whatever he wants. He order. But me, I won't do it.
Right.
My money won't go to him.
So next week we got Steve Rimpeachy coming on again, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Talk about paranormal and supernatural and whatever we feel like talking about. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. So. I've been trying to think if I should have some of because I have a picture with some possible orbs, and I thought about clipping part of a video we did with what the hell is it called? Spirit box that I haven't listened to, but I haven't got around to do it. It's put it all in a folder that way I can find it quick to share it. But see what he thinks about that kind of stuff.
So people, anyone who watches, want to tell their stories, ghost encounters, UFOs, whatever, conspiracy theories. It's all going on next week.
Yep.
So.
Everything cryptid related. Paranormal related. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I'm huge into this stuff. I'm sure he's going to know a lot more than I do.
Yeah. So yeah, he seems really interested in it too. So it'll be a good time. And
yeah,
I'm sure he knows a lot about it. I mean, I'm sure he'll be doing a lot of talking on it. So hey, which I don't mind. It's fun. Yeah.
Right.
He's a great guy, fun to talk to, listen to. So. Going to be a good show.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Well, I'm excited for all our shows.
Of course.
Yeah, I actually looking forward to this one a lot.
Yep. And then was it the next week after that? I will be going to Spooky Empire, so that'll be fun. Back to Orlando. So
nice.
Yes. All right. Anything else going on, or I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna grab something.
I don't think so. I don't have any videos coming out. I did 2 this week, though. Actually, I think 2. I actually did a news, and I went live Friday instead of I think it was Friday. It might have been Thursday. I don't remember what
the
it was.
unbagging or whatever. I didn't get a chance to watch that yet, but I heard you were doing it out of the bags.
Yeah, I did the unbag. I was gonna make 3 separate videos, but I was putting it off. So I just added the 3 thumbnails that I made all into one thumbnail. It looks kind of crappy, but I was like, I just got to get this done. So I just like slap it together, and then I just went live and unboxed everything. I had 2 bags of Dollar Tree movies. I had the Horror Spice mystery box, and I had 2 Fright Rag orders.
Mm-hmm.
And I sung the song from Halloween 3.
Let's get that stuck in our head now.
Right?
I don't even need to say it. We all know what it is.
Right? It's not good because I can't sing, and I didn't go very long, so you don't have to
listen to it there. Alrighty then, I guess I'm going to head on out. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like I said, don't forget next week, Paranormal Palooza, as Steve put it, so better be there. All right, have a good night.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.